Good afternoon. It's this is the Manly Way,
Yes.
and I'm Guy.
I'm Tony.
And today I kind of have something that I want to talk about. So I've been noticing a lot. I watch the news every once in a while. It kind of depresses me. Every once in a while there's something good, but so I'm noticing on the news that there's a lot of disrespect. A lot of disrespect for people in authority, police officers. Sometimes it's what do you say? Sometimes they deserve it, but most of the time they don't. It's just getting really out of hand. So Tony and I were talking about it, and we were talking about how do you help your kids with authority.
It's a good question.
And where do you come from, and at what point do you teach your kids authority? So I was asking Tony, one, what age do you start? And with Tony, so I'm going to ask Tony again.
Mm-hmm.
What age did you start teaching your kids authority?
That's really, as soon as they can observe and see what's going on. I mean, our kids are so observant of what we do. And ultimately, I think we'd mentioned before, they mimic us. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes they'll find the things that they mimic us that we go, darn, oops, I didn't really want that to happen. But for the most part, you know, they want to. It's just in their very nature to really want to be like mom and dad and just and act it out, because to them that's what's normal. So we started as early as we possibly could, as soon as they were recognizing that, you know, at their age level, teaching them those principles, and it's very, very important. And like you were saying, we were talking about earlier, about this much of it is the word spoken, and about this much of it is just action, what they see, right?
Yeah.
How about you? About the same?
Yeah, same. Just very early, and again, we were really having a discussion about how much disrespect there is now in kids and in actually young adults, in people nowadays. They just don't respect each other. They don't respect authority, and I was relating that back to, because we're dealing with men, dads, and how dads can help with teaching their kids more respect.
Yes.
And really, when we boiled it down, we talked and we boiled it down, we really came down to, we can talk about a lot of things, but really what we see and what we've done is modeling it. First and foremost, we need to model the respect.
Right.
And we need to be that person that we want our kids to be.
Absolutely.
If we don't respect a teacher, if we don't respect a person of authority, a police officer, with our words and with our actions, our kids won't.
Right.
Even if we tell our kids, you need to respect that person, but then we don't, they model us. They don't really. They'll just do what we want them.
Right.
You know, what we're doing more than what we want them to do.
And if they're not modeling from us where we should be involved in their lives for them to model, they're going to find something or someone else to model.
Yes.
Or to model after. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen several times. I can remember being a young kid, and my dad just working a lot, and it was easy to say, hey, you know, that person's pretty cool. I'm going to try to be like him. And this guy, he wasn't cool. He was an idiot. And he was just like acting like one. But I was like, you know, it just seemed like people gravitated towards that action that he had, because I think they were just fearful to stand on their own. And at the time, I didn't really know. And my dad was very influential, don't get me wrong. And he taught me very strong principles and respect and all of that. But there's still those moments, you know, when he was kind of gone, he was working a lot. So it's very real, and how do we stay on top of that? That's just part of the Manly Way. Is we want to be encouraging young men in general, just to how important we are in our kids' life. it's amazing how
Yeah.
important we are.
Yeah.
How much they look to us for, and we don't think so, right? But it's
Yeah.
the fact. That's
And
the
I
way
think,
it is.
yeah, and I think one of the things that we're going to hit on more later, but one of the things that we're guilty of is having one of the biggest babysitters for our kids being a device or a TV or a way to just keep them busy instead of having them interact with us. And I just would really encourage that you spend more time with your kids,
absolutely.
and that you find ways to interact with them as you're doing things. Kids want to be with you,
They do.
and they want to, even if
They
it's
do.
a little inconvenient for you. I really encourage you to spend more time doing things with your kids and not just putting them in front of a device, because what you're putting out to them will come back tenfold.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
And the if they're having if you want them to have good characteristics and good nature, you have to
Yeah.
invest in that.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
you can't just invest in that by putting them in front of a device.
No.
Just even just if you're just doing housework, or if you're just doing yard work, or just anything that you're doing, if you can involve them any way so that you're interacting with them.
And also you can, there are moments where, like, I remember I was able to purposely put ourselves in a situation where I was able to show them how to respond to a certain situation. And then there were times where I was able to say, okay, girls, that was not the right way. Daddy messed up on that one.
Yeah.
But you can see that I'm letting you know I did the wrong thing, and I knew it. And sometimes you have to go back to a situation and let them know that you messed up, and you didn't intend that. It was just the timing, and you were in a bad mood. Who knows what it was? But they were able to witness that the right way is to come clean,
Yeah.
and before you even get to that point, is already assess the situation and go, how can I handle this the right way?
Yeah. That reminds me of apologizing to my children. That was something that I learned how to do. I learned how to, when I didn't handle something correct, oh my goodness, did I not handle things correct? I did. Of course, I'm human. I just
Yeah.
don't handle things correctly. That when I realized what I was doing, or sometimes when I was told, hey, listen, you really messed that up,
Yeah.
I would go back and I would apologize, and I would say, I'm sorry, I really messed that up. Please forgive me. And then I would try to rectify that. And if I did something, or if I hurt somebody else's feelings, or if I said something else wrong, I would actually take them with me sometimes, and I would actually I would let them see me apologizing to somebody else. And sometimes that other person wasn't so gracious, and they didn't
Right.
they didn't handle it correctly.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. My kids got to see me apologizing, doing what I needed to do.
Right.
So, because like Tony said earlier, what you say is just a small portion. What you do is so huge.
Right.
And you only get that back.
Yeah.
You never get that back. You never get that time back with your kids.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's really, really, really important, if you're wanting a well-rounded adult as a child who doesn't disrespect,
Right.
teachers, adults, professors, other people, to start young and to continue to show them how to be somebody who
Absolutely.
somebody who models you.
Yep. And and I want to also put this in there too, is that my wife and I, and myself modeling with as her dad, is that it was okay to say no to somebody, but there's ways of doing it. Like if they felt uncomfortable around another person, There's ways of doing it the right way, to where you can step aside, you can say no, thank you. There's all sorts of things to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Not like this example where we're dumping water on top of people's heads. Just is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a right way and a wrong way, and we can really mimic that. And because, like I said, there's a lot of other entities out there that want to teach and model up for our kids the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's easy to pick up. I remember that, and so the last thing I want is to have my daughters or your kids having that same situation.
Well, now you were also talking, Tony, earlier about not being a follower of the crowd.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. That was really good.
Well, it's the mob mentality. It's you'll find that in just about any situation, there's so many stories that we could look up where people were literally stoned to death or whatever, some very drastic things. Or I always look at it, the mob mentality when on Black Friday, and just shopping. But there's people get hurt and people do horrible things, and it's like, why? Because they're part of that frenzy, and there's something attracted to that. But if we teach our kids that, they're not, when something's going on in a crowd, especially with kids in school and stuff like that, they're not going to be the ones participating in some bully that's bullying someone and wanting to be and laughing at somebody or making fun of someone. That's the easy thing to do, and that's the easy way to fit into a crowd.
Yeah.
And but so wrong. So that mob mentality, no. I mean, one of the first things I want to teach my kids is that you stand on your own. You stand on who you are, and you're not who they are. You are who you are.
Yeah.
So yes, the mob mentality, and that carries right on through when you're an adult. If one person does something wrong, you look at them and go, "I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Why should I do that? I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I am who I am." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I completely agree. And trying to teach, personally, to go with that, teaching my kids to stand up for somebody who isn't, who
Yes.
is being bullied or is
Exactly.
being maybe somebody else who
And that
is.
happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It happens, especially in school.
Especially in schools.
Even younger grades.
Yep.
They kind of gang up on a kid because there's something different
Right.
or whatever. There's so many different things, and being the one to go in and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Not only am I not going to do that, but you guys leave him alone,
Right.
or her alone, or whoever,
Yep.
and then befriending that person and trying to make them feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I really have encouraged my kids to be that person. I've had to do that. That's
Yeah.
how Tony became my friend. I'm just kidding. No, but I had to throw that in there.
I knew it was coming.
Well, somebody had to be his friend. But
You're just throwing out because I threw the alarm on my truck at you.
oh,
scared the heck out
he
of me.
scared me so bad. I was
Anyways.
leaning against his truck earlier in the middle of a parking lot, and he hit the alarm.
Yeah.
So he scared me.
I got to make sure he's awake.
So it's I just wanted to kind of bring awareness to, we haven't talked about it yet. There's so many things that you can do as a dad, as a man, as a father, to help your kids
Yeah.
with respect. And I just want you to be aware of that
Yeah.
and start, if you aren't doing anything, start a little bit. If you're doing a lot, good on you, man.
Yeah.
If you have any ideas or suggestions, send them in.
Absolutely.
And we'd love to hear. And thanks.
Where they can send them into Master the Manly Way, right?
Master of the Manly Way.
Master the Manly
Master
Way.
of the Manly Way.
Right.
And we'll.
And also, like I was going to say too, is just that's one of the things that they can look at, is just being able to kids to they're watching us even when we don't think they are. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things that hit me as
Yeah.
a guy, is like, they're not even paying attention. They're paying attention.
Yeah. And what I've had to realize is I need to be the man that I want my, I need to be the adult that I want my kids to be,
Yep.
because they're gonna emulate me.
Yes, they will. They will.
Yeah.
Because they do. They're just that they want to. They
Yeah.
want to see. And like I said, they're always looking, even when Even when you think they can't see you
Yeah.
for some reason, I think they can.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
just it's a good thing to just be, it's a good thing to be proactive in it, and that's something that we really want to encourage you a lot in, because just like Guy, great thing you brought up is just there's so many stories out there. In fact, I try not to even watch the news anymore because it's depressing, it's sad, and instead, you know, instead of put a kid in front of a TV, there's other ways of being involved with him and entertain him, something other than that. Because
we'll go into a lot more
Yes.
of how to actually do that, because I really think we've kind of lost the art of how to let your kids be a little bit uncomfortable and be bored, and then allow their their minds to take over, and just allow them to just experience their imaginations again.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Smile.
Smile.
Oh, there you go. Okay, not that big.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, so that was, I think that was one of the,
Yeah.
and there's more that we'll talk about this here later on, but that was a good topic that you brought up, and
Yeah.
because there's so many ways that we can maybe even give them some suggestions, you know, later on, but we just wanted to kind of put it on the forefront so you can start thinking about it.
Yep.
And because another challenge is just when you're with your kids, really take the time. I know it's hard, because especially for men, we have compartments that we're in, and when we're in there, we're only in there. It's hard for us to see anything on the peripheral. But really just listen to see when your kids, how often they're wanting to get your attention.
Yep.
You'd be amazed.
Yeah. I've really tried to spend time cooking dinner with my daughter.
That's good.
And just listening, because my daughter's 14, and when you get her talking, she'll talk.
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit. So sometimes I just have to just give her some time.
That's right.
And because it just takes a little bit at times.
Yeah.
But they love to talk.
Absolutely.
And they
Yep.
love to have somebody listen to them.
Absolutely.
So,
And what a better person than you to be listening to them.
oh, I love it.
Right? I
Yeah,
love it too.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my highlights, is to sit down sometimes and be prepared, because sometimes that time comes when you are so tired and you're ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden they have a second, third, or fourth wind.
Yep.
And for an hour, the next hour, you're listeing, and
Yep.
that's how it
Yeah.
is, right?
Yep.
But that's all right.
Yep.
It means so much to them.
Yeah.
So
It does.
anything else?
No, I think that's kind of, that was what was on my mind.
I think it's great. I think it was a good topic, and it's something that
Yeah.
I think it is really important, because the times we live in, I think it's really important that we have to again be proactive
Yes.
in our kids in that situation.
And I think I really want to delve into this whole thing of respect deeper in maybe in a whole series of teaching and talking.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to talk about it today just a little bit and just get it out there, because it was so much on my mind that I just wanted to get it out there.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about
That's
it
good.
more, and we'll, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, you can send us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. So if there's anything else, I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hopefully we'll see
the Manly Way.
on the Manly Way.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.